I was watching a free diver departure, a competition. A woman died on the free diving competition attempt, right? And it looks for me as um, the diver that they think is helping her. I think it looks strange. And then I noticed that there was a double departure in the cave diving, and the first diver he dies, and then there's attempt to recover the body, and another diver dive in the same time where he's trying to rescue the body. And then I think if that could be that it's the same diver around her, could it be the same diver in the cave, the second one, that departure. And then I realized that because I know what freediving is, and I think it's dangerous, no matter. And I also think that scientifically, of course, anytime somebody in Olympics or anyone do something strange, something, why do they survive, or how can she do like she does, right? There's a lot of science that want to have data, but some of the data is in a way not serious. I mean, if we think like free diving, the way they speak about it, and also the way I think, is that you know the risk because unconscious or divers see ill and so on. So it's a way people that gamble with life, and meaning that it goes wrong someday, maybe, right? So basically, I think that the data they get is that for it goes wrong or what? Is it a sort of waterboarding inquiry or something? How long can we keep people underwater and they die, whatever? I think it's strange that you study at all in this field. As well, I think it's a strange competition environment that would risk people, and also because some of the free diver have this kind of, I don't know, yoga kind of approach, that they say if my mind uh, can cope with it, my body can. And what? I mean, that's totally lunatic. So basically, they're letting people believe that the mind can control the body in any kind of circumstances. And they know it's a lie. They know people are maybe insane, you know. And also this kind of, when you have a sport environment, people tend to go further than they're supposed to. They kind of get, if you are a person that lack recognition, or if you lack cherish or love, you might go even further. So I think it's absurd. The same with, I also know something about test pilot, and I also think, if you know the risk of test flying, but it depends on if you are aware and you get your paycheck and your insurance, and you say, I go for this job no matter if I die or not, right? But if you don't know you can die, if you're not aware that you can die of this, I think it's unfair. And of course, if, for example, I'm a veteran, I know that all of the things I did were risky. I know I could die, right? And that's another thing, then kind of grooming people to think they can't die, and no matter how risky it is, they can't die. I think we have to get some kind of work culture that if you're doing a work, no matter free diving or it's dangerous task, then you have to get the right contracts for the right work. And I think that this about fooling people and even taking their paychecks and insurance and abusing them, that's crime. And that's what I'm accusing both Denmark for, and also a related country, that they knew I took a risk and I succeeded, I survived barely, right? And they don't want to pay. And then you can, of course, say, in my case, it's entertainment. It's big money in film, designing, but then I think they're trying kind of dehumanize and alienate this thing they've done in the entertainment by saying this is an experiment. They know for sure that I could have a post in UN or NATO, or I could be teaching film or design, right? They know that, but they don't recognize what I did accomplish. And then they're trying to dehumanize it by saying we are testing something. And by the way, we can also take it took my kid in 2012, right? And probably planned that he was not supposed to get a good education, meaning the inheritment. And I think that's the key. I'm 55, right? My son would be the one to kind of get the money back, and they destroy him. So I'm accusing Egmont concern, and I'm accusing Denmark's Radio, Warners and Paramount and so on. You are a criminal, right? And also, I'm also fed up that the police deny taking on cases of hacking, illegal case fraud, insurance fraud, violation, bullying, poor housing, loan sharks, rent sharks, all of that. And all of that together, it makes clearly that some people in the entertainment got $1 billion and they ran, right? And then I can sit and analyze, missing person cases and go into my own case, what happened there. I have to solve my own, the crime I was victim of, no help at all. So, and another thing I noticed is that when my communication is stolen, right? So basically I can't communicate with Center for Cybersikkerhed or the government in missing person, right? So it looks for me like the local society, they accept this kind of isolation as a part of their wire scam and a part of their crime, right? But it also means another thing. If I had been like 30 and this occurred, right? The most people will get so angry that they will go out and do something, which is appropriated, but it's not. So they're playing two games. They're playing with stealing your money and your communication, and we try and make you so mad that we can say, oh, she did this, right? So that's a sort of radicalization, a grooming kind of thing, right? We're trying to annoy her so much, stealing her child, her money, and provocate, and then try and get her to do something so we can say, whoa, she did something, right? She is like that. I figured that out long. I mean, I work in anti-terrorism. I know how it works. And in a way, you can say that at anti-terrorism, if some of you people, teachers, government people, could get control over abuse of the internet, right? Because if you're like 17 years old and you get bullied in school and your IT is hacked, so the only thing you get like groomed around is not sex as normal, but it's some political thing, right? And I even think that intelligence, the police intelligence, now we got a case in Norway, right? Where a person that has been approached by secret police to try and calm himself, right? But did they really do a bad work so he got pushed further and further out in violation, or did they try and help him? They didn't know him. So why didn't they do their work? Why did he get pushed so far out that he goes nuts? And actually, when people do like this, it is a sort of suicide in a way, because they could as well get killed, right? So maybe sometimes it's not enough that we believe that the government and the police can handle it, because maybe they won't handle it, maybe they don't care about it. And maybe they're even criminal, like in my case, I'm a missing person, I have a missing son, I have missing money. They don't give a shit. They're like protected to Epstein and Weinstein for years. And it goes on, the next generation abused is already there, and they don't give a shit. So maybe it's time. I worked with government, I worked DDR wall down, I worked Yugoslavia refugees, I worked Northern Ireland peacemaking, right? Maybe it's time that you do something. Everybody, like, handle to, why don't you press through to get the homeless a home, to get poor people some rights, to get the handicapped, the elderly some dignity. I mean, they get doped to the die. And you just, oh, so what? I'm going on holiday. And the administration of this, they're like an elite. They are the elite of the society. They have big farms and they have fun, and the elite don't give a shit about your olders or about your handicap. They're just like, and the people work on the floor is limited. They can't like break out the boxes and say, think out of the box. And why is it that the handicapped are isolated together with missing person and unnamed person? I think it should be shamed, Denmark. And I really hope that this is a wake-up call when you get like, you can't get the same benefit that it used to be. You are now under surveillance for human rights violation, use of chemistry, cooperation with criminals, copy market, a lot of other things, right? And you are, the NATO and EU is setting the standard. You cannot have animals that are in circumstances where they get sick and then you don't treat them because you want to get off the antibiotica. Maybe you should change your way of having animals so they get light and grass and get out. And I mean, right now it's EU that makes decision about Danish farming because of Corona. Right now it's nature that says to Denmark, you have to give money for getting protection.